Anyways, let's go to watch Caltech's game. So let's see. Caltech is playing against Illinois. So we got at least one of the games started. I believe this is this Division 3? I don't know. Caltech versus Illinois B team. I guess I could check. Yeah, this is Division 3. Okay. So let's see. We got Alex. This is the top board from Illinois' B team against the bottom board, Jeff Zidell. What's up, Lancer? How's it going? Good to see you. Won my match today, so let's go. Very nicely done. Do you know if you guys are in the playoffs or not? Are you keeping up with the standings? Let's see. I'm not following all these players yet. Don't want to do that. So yeah, I only see one game. We are somewhat. Illinois B2 to 4 have sent Challenges waiting for Caltech. Okay. Yeah, I messaged Caltech. They haven't responded. So yeah, apparently Caltech's missing a couple guys, huh? Just a couple. Their board 1 is playing. Okay. Nice. Nice. Progress. So Math Apples FIDE Master from Caltech, Jason Shi, a veteran in the league. Top board for Caltech. Let's see. So G7 is hit. Black can defend with the queen. They can push G7. Probably not ideal. They could just give up the pawn and develop their knight and then play like rook G8. That's a common idea. So interesting to see how Math Apples will play this. All right, I'm resolving issues left and right here. Mosharov 1-1 for me in the rivalry. Nice, dude. You tied it. I hope you got partnered with someone cool. Collegiate's leading by 3. Nice. Thanks for the updates. Didn't you guys? When did you start at? Didn't you guys? Shouldn't you have started like what, an hour ago? Shouldn't that match be decided by now? Okay, Sorry, how did he decide to defend? Okay, so he goes here, like pawn push, takes, rook here, takes, king up. Very peculiar decision here. So Ash King technically up a pawn. This pawn, perhaps. Knight here looking to regain this pawn. So up a pawn, but temporarily. Perhaps a3. Perhaps then takes here. Perhaps then you save this. Maybe you go here to go here. But then, yeah, maybe they go... No, I don't know. Yeah, this is a close game. This is a close game, considering it's board 1 versus board 4. So that should be fun. This game's almost over. So hold on. Let's see. Black attacking. Hits the queen. Queen tucks down. Not so pleasant. Threatening a fork. Attacking here. Yeah, this looks good for black. But they only have 9 seconds. Bishop f2. Queen f2. Knight here. That's a checkmate threat. That's a checkmate threat. Check here. Okay, fork down. Knight here offering trade, hitting this guy. It's taking here with tempo. Pawn takes. Rook here, probably push this, yeah. Here, maybe here. No, don't take. Well, maybe you take. Okay, this is not good. You're losing a piece. No, you're not. Queen takes, threat is this. Offer queen trade, takes with pawn. Okay. I think black should just be doing really well. There's okay, rook here. These pawns are pretty bad though, but yeah, it's covered. This bishop needs to get in. Okay, so check, and now here. Yeah, hit this. That's defended. That hits the rook. Rook here as well. Okay, rook here. Oh, going after this now. Check. King down. Rook's doubled. That's not a threat. There goes this. Oh, that's the threat. Whoops. Check here. There's another check. No. Rook takes. Rook takes is a thing. The threat is rook check and mate. Ah. Here. Probably move this rook anywhere. Yeah. Here and mate. So nicely done from Alex, taking down the bottom board. So Alex gets their first point. I'm still not following all the players though. Unable to follow Daniel and Rafi. Yeah, maybe they're missing a couple players. Wonder if there's another game I could watch. Oh yeah, there's there's a Northern Illinois versus Purdue. Maybe you should have watched that one instead. I know Tasabu was in the chat earlier. But yeah, I did want to give Caltech a chance because I haven't watched any of their games this season. So let's see. Position's fairly even in this one. I don't know what White's king is doing there on e2. It's kind of awkward. So the king steps aside. This opens the rook to e5. Probably king d6 for black. Just defend the e5 pawn. Makes the most sense. Centralize the king. Pick up the pace. Less than a minute for the FIDE master. Struggling a little bit here against Ash King. So he's finally found king d6. Yeah, how do you make progress from either side? White has the c4 move. I don't know if it's good or not. Rook lift. Knight back. Perhaps going for b5. Okay, rook here going after the c pawn. Probably c5. Yeah. Rook back. Rook here looking at d4. That's looking good for black. It's a nice square. That's a fork on the rooks. Hits the bishop. Oh my goodness. Ash King just completely let knight d4 happen. Yeah, you needed to play like c3. C3 made a lot of sense. Knight takes f3, very smart. You don't want to take the rook there. You want to take the free piece. Free piece is always better than the exchange. Plus, you're threatening knight d4 again. You might get the best of both worlds. So this hits the rook. Also, a3 is hanging with check. And now c2 is weak. Yeah, Shock Masteo. I'm going to message Math Apples after this game. I don't want to distract them when he's low on time. So, okay, defending e5, push, rook takes. So, white could be winning a pawn here, but it's not going to be enough. Rook here, you might get forked, but there's rook c4. There's also knight discovery checks that rook was hanging. So, rook here, the c pawn's going to fall. Ash King's going to lose this game. Let me try to make sure we get the chat ready. Why did his name not pop up? Okay. So that's a point for Caltech. Guess we give a point for the middle two players from Illinois. We got round 2 underway here with Jeff versus Ryan. Yeah, knight here is an interesting move. Probably bishop, some bishop move. Might have been better. Try to focus on development. Knight here, I just don't know. Maybe you want to go this way, but knight b to d5, I guess, is a fine move. I have to stay with the pawn. Yeah, knight here. You have bishop here, ideas. So bishop e7, breaking the pen. Okay, so the bishop goes back. This would be a big point for Caltech. Any point from the fourth board in the first 2 rounds is huge. And they're playing pretty well. They're up on the clock as well. Trade of bishops, knight takes. Knight b d5 is always going to be there. It's always going to be a solid move. Because this square is kind of like an outpost. There's no pawns that can kick out a piece on d5. So both knights are there to control it. Yeah, knight's in here now. Maybe some a pawn push. I was thinking of going with this knight because this knight can get kicked by the pawn. But maybe take and then go here again, attacking the c pawn, which would then be a backwards pawn. So go a4, just attacking here, trying to open up the rook. So this makes sense, trying to get some counterplay going. Bishop here might be a good idea at some point. Maybe bishop here to trade off. Maybe you trade here and go here. So they take on a4 first. Rook takes. This hits the pawn, hits the knight. Both are defended pretty well. So they're not threats yet. Jeff now is down on the clock against Ryan. Ryan just under 2 minutes. Queen develops, connecting the rooks. This helps support the knight and the pawn. Hey, Masharov with the raid. Thank you. Rook's doubled now in the A file. Shout out to Masharov, one of the players and leaders from Bangladesh, I believe. Were you just streaming your corporate versus collegiate match? Guess you tied your games, so that's not too bad. Okay, knight into e5, going for this fork. Is black gonna see it? Okay, they move the rook, so pressure here. We do have the game between Jason and Fighterhawk. William Quinn has started. D4 Group B. Which match is that? Is that Massachusetts and Wake Forest? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of matches lined up at this time. There's also Northern Illinois versus Purdue, which is also a big one. The collegiate team won. Very nice. Yeah, I mean the collegiate players had more people, so they had more chances. I mean, like, maybe not chances, but like better pairing. Like, if you have a larger sample of players, more likely they'll be better players, right? So also I just think that probably the collegiate talent is just probably higher than corporate. probably. Okay, so we're attacking c3. So c4, this is defended by the knight. Bishop fork hits the queen and the rook. This is a pretty nice move. This is a nice find from Jeff. Ooh, Jeff might win this. 20 seconds for Ryan. Queen here now. You can do queen takes or bishop takes. Going with the queen takes. And now the bishop's hit. Bishop going after that rook in the corner, as well as the d4 pawn. Queen's hit. Now queen takes d4. Pawn takes. It's a bit iffy now. The light squares are weak around black's king. E takes or f takes e6. Queen takes e6. Check. King over. There's gonna be either queen check or knight check. Yeah, this is iffy. So what went wrong here? Here there needs to be a queen trade. So you go queen a5, or you stick around to help defend with queen d6. You go astray here. Now d takes, f takes, queen takes. There's queen check, king. Ooh. King back. Rook b7. Oh. That's filthy. Filthy. Rook c7. Okay, rook here. That leaves to mate. Oof. Jeff, hard fought game. Ryan bouncing back. Capitalizing on a slight mistake. Jeff was playing really well. Alright, what's happening here? It's a queen versus a knight. So Math Apple should win this one. Where'd the queen go? Show me where the queen went, Firehawk. Who is this? William? Alright. Takes. There it is. Yeah, big mistake. They took with the knight here. Now knight takes, queen takes, bishop pin for the win. Now the queen's in there gobbling up everything. Yeah, rook here, rook check, very nice. Trade of rooks there. So it's a queen versus a knight still. But also white has 3 extra pawns. If the knight ever moves, there's rook here, forcing the last rook off. Now just run the pawns. Pretty simple stuff. So yeah, Math Apple's pretty strong player. All the way in Division 3. Yeah. Alright, so Math Apple's 2 for 2. So I guess their players still aren't showing up. Unfortunately for them. Let me make sure. Yeah, still not there. All right, we got a round 3 game here between William and Jeff. I like how Jeff played that last one. His opponent is still around 1900, so it's still not going to be easy. All right, Jeff, let's see it. Let's see how you do. H6, interesting. h3 from white, a little mirror, little copycat. I like knight f6 for black, just getting ready to castle. I feel like that makes the most sense. Maybe a little hesitant because of e5, but honestly, e5 is nothing to be worried about. You have knight d7, castle, queen c7, maybe rook b1. No, b8. Sorry. Yeah, Jeff is thinking, all right, they find knight f6. Castle, probably. Yeah, both sides still just developing. Okay, rook to the b file because the bishop leaves the pawn hanging. So white's gonna have to take a move to defend it. Probably just b3 or rook b1. Okay, b3's on the board. Probably castle now. There it is. Bishop here hits the rook. I like this move, helping control the dark squares. If you go bishop d6, try to trade bishops, there's e5 fork. Although, I mean, you could just tuck the bishop back to c7, but still, like, you might not lose a piece, but your position's going to be worse off for sure. So for instance, I'm saying here, 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 trying to pin the pawn to the bishop, but just takes anyways, takes here, and then takes here. You lose the important g pawn. So you don't want to block, you want to move the rook, and Jeff realizes this, plays rook to b7, kind of blocks the bishop just a little bit. If the bishop ever wanted to go here, it's possible the bishop could have gone here as well, but you're kind of blocked in by these pawns, especially knowing that this pawn push can come at any moment, which clamps down on the e6 pawn. So white's got a bit better space advantage here, I'd say, given this bishop's poorly placed for black. Black does have the bishop pair, but you can't really see the strength of it when the bishop isn't playing. You need both bishops to work together. And yeah, bishop here is a good move from white. And white just keeping up the moves, not thinking too long on any particular move. So keeping up a time advantage. Both players now copying each other, bring the knight back, perhaps getting ready to move a kingside pawn. So e5 has been played, clamping down, maybe just f6. Ooh, going here. I don't know if I like this move. Guess they want to open up the bishop. No, they just trade. Yeah, I'm not a big fan because I feel like you're left with some pretty weak pawns. I feel as though this endgame favors white a little bit more. And maybe white agrees with me since they're trying to trade. So they don't take on b4, allowing black to take on b3. Did I say b4 or c4? I meant c4. Either which way. All right, so not trading rooks yet, just maintaining the tension, doubling the rooks. So now if rook takes, do you take with the rook or the bishop? My guess is with the rook to leave it on the open file. We also now have this diagonal for our bishops, so things are turning. Let's see, rook takes, yeah. Offering another rook trade. Probably you take it. 2.5 minutes for about each player. Knight f8. Nice move from Jeff, trying to say they're going to recapture with the knight here, bring the bishop here. Try to bring the pieces back to life. The knight's going to put some pressure on the pawn, tying down this bishop. You got a game started from Math Apples and Ryan. So yeah, Math Apples has been unstoppable so far. So what happened in this one? Oh, when I switched, it just switched sides. I was so confused. Yeah, rook here, trade of rooks. Taking with the bishop here, I'm not a fan of that. I think knight takes was a little bit better. Because the bishop from here, you're not really improving it. Right? The bishop's going to have to move back, or the pawn's going to have to push or something. Knight takes, you improve the knight, for sure. So I think the bishop here would have been a happier piece, maybe. Okay, so we do have the pawn push. So this does open up our bishop now. So just a couple little moves here and there, helping advance black's position. So black does have the bishop pair, and this bishop can get on the long diagonal, which I think is nice. There it is, attacking the knight. Knight comes back to defend. Computer likes to see c4 and then just run this guy, I guess. Very interesting. Yeah, both players at a minute 50. So there we go, a5. Knight c3, so getting off the path of the bishop. So now the knight on d2 is not tied down to defense. Probably white's next move is going to be knight c4, attacking that a5 bishop or pawn. So then black would need to use their bishop to defend it. Probably they want to do that anyway. Oh, they bring the knight back. I think like knight here to here could have been helpful in conjunction with the knight here. So the knight from here, I guess, is going to go this way. But like, yeah, I don't know if I fully understand that. I think the knight was better here. So now this pawn is hit. I think black should try to hold on to it with the move bishop d8. Jeff finds it. Both players are a minute and a half. This is going to come down to the wire. Got a positional struggle here. Yeah, Jeff is playing well today for their rating. Perhaps a little bit underrated. Very close game in their last round, and they're keeping it close here against the much higher rated opponent. So f3 has been played, and now knight f7 or d7. Sorry, my coordinates are so bad. I need to study up on the alphabet. All right, Firehawk, under a minute. Time pressure. King steps up now. Bishop here makes sense to me. Boxing out the knight. No. The knight wants to come here, I guess. This knight's been all over. Here. Back down, I guess. Imagine all these knight moves. You gotta go knight a6 now, right? Yep, there it is. And now you have to go. I guess you just stay there. That's a little unfortunate. I mean, I guess you could go knight b4. Takes, right? That's a thing. Oh, I missed in the chat after the Chicago match. Praveen said GG's. Good to see Praveen in there. Okay, so bishop there. Knight takes, pawn takes, hits the knight out. Knight goes into f4. And now pawn push. So this helps protect c5 once the knight moves. So we could see knight b4 now. I think the knight would be best placed on d5. So like knight here to here would have been really smart, I think. So they trade here now, and now the king's gonna enter. Like these pawns are poorly placed. So white's a lot better, I think, but they're very low on time. So yeah, I think king c4. Okay, knight check, probably king here, or maybe e6 was better to take this guy. Okay, now yeah, king here for sure. Okay, so how does black defend? They don't. They bring the king up. Bishop takes, knight takes, king takes. King e6 probably has to be played. Yeah, go after that pawn. But yeah, just simply f4, g5, there's g3, and not a solid chance for black at this stage. White has a really good king position, as well as a good pawn structure and the centralized knight. So Jeff trying to remove the defenders of this knight. Ooh, pawn check. Wait, but king takes. There's knight fork. Yeah, knight f7. So there goes the bishop, and black's gonna try to create a passer. So this should be an interesting race. Only less than 10 seconds. 5 seconds. They pass. King e4. 100%. Yep. f5. Oh. Now this pawn's passed. You could probably sacrifice, honestly. Well, maybe you don't want to do that, but I don't know. Knight f5 or h5? Just h5, right? Oh, they flagged. Too many good options. Let's go, Jeff. Let's go, Jeff. A point for the bottom board. Nicely done. Even down a piece. Okay, let's check out his leader, Math Apple's top board against Ryan. Only 39 seconds, so under 2 minutes less than his opponent. Well, his opponent's thinking, so not quite 2 minutes anymore. But what's the predicament? Probably rook e7 is what black's worried about a little bit. Okay, knight coming in, attacking that bishop. Gotta watch out. Yeah, you don't really want to allow this capture. Hold on to the bishop if you can. So bishop here looks pretty annoying. But yeah, the problem is if you have to take with the g pawn, you really expose yourself. Maybe it's not so bad because you have the rook here. But okay, so we do have bishop e7. Rook comes in, pressure on the bishop. So now what to do? Okay, rook here. Supporting that d6 pawn that is passed. Math Apple's decent position, but low on time. All right, 13 seconds for Jason. Let's see. And yeah, it's not so clear how you're gonna break through. Because this rook is defended by both knight and queen. So if we try to even just attack on this diagonal, it should be fine. Although bishop takes, you'd have to take with the pawn, which is pretty annoying. So queen check forces a trade. Queen takes, knight takes. And now the knight is kicked. So the knight can go either back from whence he came. Okay, and does so. Take that. And now lifting the king in. Maybe to trade rooks. Okay, rook here doesn't allow for that. Pawn push. Yeah, f5 for sure. Now the rook is attacking f5, but if you take on f5, you lose d6. So black is maintaining the position. King steps up. Not afraid of losing the double isolated pawn. Jason going h3, preparing for g4. Hello, Bryce. It is afternoon for me. I'm going to take a nice break after this, although I have to be back. There's a match an hour after this between Wake Forest and Howard in Division 10. Okay, so Math Apples takes back on g4, defending the f5 pawn. I'm an hour after California now. What was the sequence? So pawn push takes pawn here, here, here. All right. I guess the king's coming here now, right? King is here. b4. g4, okay. It's probably to go here. I would play d7. I don't know. That or you don't want to allow the rook out. So, okay, here first, check here. Rook takes, king takes. Okay, rook takes. Here. d7, king up now. King to e7. Okay, rook here. Yeah, how do you make progress now? I think Math Apples had better. Oh, he's only got 2 seconds. 1 second. 2.8 seconds. Okay, he's defending this. This is gonna fall. Oh, that's threatening mate. King here, rook check. King here, rook here again. Okay, rook back, giving this up, but now, oh, there's gonna be a plethora of checks. I don't see you getting out of this. Other rook check. Here, the check. Nope. Yeah, gonna find some perpetual. Probably happy to take perpetual. I mean, Ryan's not even 2,000 against 2,400 FIDE Master. King here, I mean, yeah, Ryan offered draw. Yeah, that's a draw. Very, very well played by Ryan. So 2.5 out of 3, 2.5 out of 3 as well. For Caltech. Top board, Math Apples. Math Apples is a really nice username. Okay, Ryan versus Rafi C. Rafi C joining us for the Caltech team. Yeah, I probably should have streamed another match, but I was hoping to give Caltech a chance. But yeah, it's good. It's good that Rafi has joined in 210. I've lost track of the penalty games. All right, so Ryan getting tempo on the old queen. Develop with tempo. One of the best things you can do for your development. So Rafi decides to give queen check. You do have to watch out for forks here. So yeah, probably queen here is not the best because you're also blocking your e pawn as well. You're helping your opponent develop. So if you're not going here, yeah, now d5 anyways, because like even with the rook opposite the queen, you're still threatening to take because we take back. So we basically just want a rook for a pawn. So yeah, d5 hits. Now you probably want to move the queen somewhere. Queen here. Yeah, what does white do? I'm sure there's a lot of good moves. Okay, so queen gets out of the pen, continues the attack on the knight, as well as putting pressure on a7. Bishop takes, g takes, probably. If you take the knight, they have bishop takes, so that's kind of less than ideal. You'd lose a pawn, although you could take back on a7. So, okay, knight takes here, there is bishop takes. And now there's queen takes a7. Nice, and now, yeah, black just needs to develop their kingside pieces. Look at those pieces in there. Move the e-pawn. e6. e5. All great candidate moves. Ryan probably wants to play like bishop b6 or something. That's what at least I would consider. Just getting in there. All right. What just happened? Hold up. Queen takes, queen check, king here. Rook check, bishop block. Okay. This guy's defended twice. If the queen wasn't defended, like let's say the knight developed, there'd be rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. But the rook was defended, so bishop block makes sense. Now the queen steps up. Probably I would go here now. Okay, there's bishop b5. So the queen's hit, queen goes to b6, and the threat is to take on b7 because this bishop's not defending it because it's pinned to the king. So queen takes b7 would be nice. So bishop takes. Maybe you take here first. You take on b7 check for sure, because then you take with check here. If they don't move the king, if they block. If they move the king, then you take here with check. So yeah, b7's much better for Ryan. They sacrificed the, well, it's not a sacrifice. No, this is still really good. Okay, here, now you got to take on b5, right? Knight takes, nice. Threatening mate. It's a checkmate. So let's see how to defend it. You go knight d5, but then we have knight d5, probably queen takes. Or, I mean, would you take with the, I don't know. This knight d5 move. There's check actually. Yeah, I don't know. 2.5 minutes, but Ryan should be good to go on this one. Would be my guess. If Ryan wins this, they're undefeated 3.5 out of 4. Getting a draw against Jason Shi, so that's a good game. We got 3 games happening this round. So we got the bottom boards here. Ash versus Jeff. Jeff's been playing pretty well. They're down a minute though. Here, their pawns are doubled and isolated on the d file. Their knight's retreating. They got a good rook though on a7. Okay, does black take on d3? I don't know. Take on d3 might be risky. We'll move like bishop here. Tempo. Not sure what knight h2 is doing though. Knight h2 kind of feels like a step in the wrong direction. A lot of times when you bring the knight back like this, it's because you want to go up or you want to push the pawn. I don't know if you want to push this pawn. I don't know. Like, I feel like after this pawn moves, this diagonal is very weak. Actually, yeah, pushing the pawn, there's this immediately. So, although there's this, so there's that. Queen here, looking at some light squares, defending the bishop. Oh, Ryan just beat Rafi. So yeah, Ryan undefeated, 3.5. Very nice. Yeah, I didn't add the forfeits from the last round. But yeah, Illinois has this one in the bag. Okay. Queen goes to f3, defending the d3 pawn. Queen goes to g6. Bishop here attacking d6, which would come with a fork. Bishop comes back. Why? Oh, queen's defending us now. Okay. Rook's doubled on the a file. Bishop hits the rook opposite the king. Black's playing this well. Rook comes back. Bishop hits the rook. If they're tied in match points and game points, then you look at the head-to-head match. And if that was a draw, then I don't know. We'd probably look at if a team had more penalty points or something. But I'm just making that up on the spot right now. So I officially don't know. Wait, queen takes, no? Queen takes. Oh, then there's rook takes b4. Nice shot from black here. So yeah, Jeff is losing material. Nice discovery on this guy. How about, what if we take here? Probably this. Probably don't want to do that. Yeah, Jeff probably not going to win this one. That's unfortunate. Very long time as well now. So probably just take here, allow this to happen. And maybe knight here, get forked. So probably don't do that. 13, 12, 11, 10. Less than 10 seconds. If Illinois beats 11.5 to 4. Oh, so you're saying if Caltech gets one more point. So like if Math Apples wins this one. Well, I mean, if you guys are tied in match points and board points, you guys are favored because you win the head-to-head matchup. That's the third tie break. So you guys will be fine. That was very interesting. Yeah, Jeff lost to Ash King. So that's an official win for Illinois. Ooh, is f4 good here? No, I guess they take here. I want to crash through, but they also have queen block. Yeah, rook takes for white should be tried. Probably. Alex under a minute to 3 minutes. Alex is thinking, man. He's feeling something. There it is, f4. Trying to remove the defender of g6. So, okay, knight takes, queen block, queen takes. So white's picked up a pawn with that. Although material's even still. Okay, black was threatening mate. White blocks. Black doubles up the rooks. White has an isolated pawn, but there's no pass pawns for anyone. Yeah, there's a match. There's some matches tomorrow, man. Yeah, we can add you in. I probably should have reached out to you. I'll send you the schedule after this match. I've been on since 8 a.m. my time. It's 1 p.m. now. But I'll be back. Hey, there's a match in an hour if you want to join for that. Howard versus Wake Forest. Okay, rook check. Ooh. Queen check on g7. Yeah. Yeah. Math Apple should be crushing now. Rook h1. Or rook takes g2 even. I think if you check on okay, queen check, king back. Ooh, rook takes. Oh, rook takes, king takes, queen. He's threatening mate here. But yeah, white. It was like somewhat even. Yeah, this. Wait, check, and queen takes next. Yeah, that's mate in one. Yeah, nicely done from top board from Caltech. I just want to see where this went wrong. So the position was fairly even here. Check. Yeah, right here. So probably rook f or queen or move the king or something. You go this way and now you allow rook check here. And now you can't block with a rook. So now you have to run, but your king is just way too exposed at this point. So the queen and rooks swarm in to deliver checkmate. Yeah, this rook block was the spell of disaster for Alex. So 3.5 out of 4 for the FIDE Master from Caltech. Oh, yeah. So I guess the final score is 11.5. I guess we're missing a couple of these points, but not a big deal. We'll make sure we get the score right. But anyways, good games.